Hey, what's going on, guys? Benny Childs, founder of the Teach Me to Fish FX trading community, and I am back with a weekly outlook for the week of Sunday, October 22nd, 2023. All right, we're going to start off with the dollar. I am bullish dollar. Let's take a look why. Uh, let's see. Want to go with this. I think I forgot to put in the monthly equilibrium. So let's do that really quick. Lock it. Equilibrium should be 101. 4. All right. All right. Taking a look here on the monthly, we can see we did tap into the equilibrium. Also, this monthly FEG. No other FEGs, but this one way back here. All right. So now let's take a look at the weekly. Draws on liquidity. All right, so let's just take a look at the weekly calendar for October 2nd, the week of October 2nd. We can see that let me blow this up. There you guys. We can see that this candle, it did sweep the high but closed below. So we would have been looking bearish for the following week, which this week did. It opened up and it shot lower, rebalanced this weekly FEG, right? Then pushed up. All right. So here on the dollar, we can see that this previous week it swept October 2nd's low, closed above it. So by bullish um, bias, sorry. All right, we tap again. We tap the FEG, internal liquidity. So we'll be shooting for uh, external liquidity. All right. So we have not reached that yet. Still looking for that. Okay. Um, I'm thinking that when we open up, we may want to take out this low at some point throughout the week and press up. Okay. Let's take a look at the daily really quick. This FEG has been respected. Okay. Thursday took out Wednesday's low, closed above it. All right. So we're looking bullish. This was an inside bar, so my bias is still bullish. However, again, we could still want to see this low taken out and then head higher. All right. So I am again bullish on the dollar. Let's take a look at NQ. Take a look at the monthly. Our monthly equilibrium is here. Okay. Drop down to the weekly. What happened with the weekly? Last week took out the previous week's low and closed below it. So real simple. That makes me bearish. Um, we have a, sorry, I didn't understand that. I didn't say anything. We have a volume imbalance right here, weekly volume imbalance um, that we could be drawing, could be our weekly draw on liquidity. Okay. We also have these relative equal lows. I really will act as a draw on liquidity. Um, And then we also have this fair value gaps, consequent encroachment that I have. I can see a little better on the daily. Friday's candle closed below Thursday's candle. Again, I'm thinking bearish. I have these relative equal lows here. Okay, so I'm looking bearish. I mean, it could be bearish all the way until at least 13,653 and 25 cents. So um, I am bearish there. All right, so bearish on the Nasdaq, and my draws on liquidity. Take a look at gold. Take a look at the monthly. All right, currently ranging in between this low and this high. Here's our equilibrium at 1770. Let's take a look at the weekly. Okay. Um, Last week closed above the previous week's high, as well as uh, this swing high here. All right. So we can target last week's high, which was 2009 and 20 cent, which also gave us relative equal highs. All right. So I have that as a draw on liquidity. The last week's high is a draw on liquidity, as well as this swing point, right? And I have some monthly draw on liquidity. So gold, I am still bullish. Take a look at oil. It doesn't take that long, guys, once you develop your eye, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be right 100% of the time, but um, we are in between on the monthly here. We're in between this high and this low right here, which gives us an equilibrium at 96 and 10 cent. All right. Um, so let's take a look at the weekly. We can take a look at the monthly as well. Um, the month of August, right? Well, actually, the month of September closed above the month of August is high. So it makes us bullish for the month. What did October do? Swept down. And guys, always remember, if it's gonna go higher, it needs to go lower first. If it's gonna go lower, it needs to go higher first. Grab that liquidity and head in the direction that they want to go. All right. So this month we went down. All right. This is a weekly fair value gap, but we went down and now we're drawing up. Let's take a look at the weekly. Last week closed above the previous week's high. So last week's high is going to be the first draw on liquidity for me. Okay. We went internal. This FVG. We're going to be heading to external. All right. So 95.03 or and 89.85 is the first level draw on liquidity. Let's take a look here. Uh, we rebalanced this daily FVG here, pushed up. All right. That was Thursday, closed above Wednesday's high, which would give us a draw on liquidity, bullish draw on liquidity, which Thursday's high was taken out by Friday's candle. All right. However, it closed below the high. So Monday, we can be looking to go bearish before we head bullish for that weekly draw on liquidity. All right, and that was crude oil, S&P 500, and these are all the future indexes. All right, we are in between this high, this low, monthly equilibrium at 42.44.75. Let's take a look at the weekly. Last week closed below the previous week's low, right? So we're looking for this weekly volume imbalance, all right, as a draw on liquidity, as well as these lows, as well as this volume imbalance. All right. So I'm bearish on the onset. Um, we have, let's see, did we take this out? Let's see. The low for this is 42.42 and 50 cent. The close for this 42.43. Yep. So we took out this low. So we could be looking for some type of internal liquidity to be rebalanced. Could be here at this FEG or possibly this implied FEG here, right? I'm just lazy with the implied FEGs. I know that you, let me show you guys. We'll do this, but I know I changed it, so it may not. Yeah, that's just too convoluted. I'm just going to use a FEG. This isn't 100% how ICT does it or says to do it, but if you just simply take the close and the open, right, of the first and third candle, I would just mark that, right? So we could come up into 43.73 and 50 cents before we push down. Okay. So we got this FEG and this implied FEG that could be draws of liquidity on the daily before we see these weekly draws on liquidity taken out. However, that does not have to be the case, guys. It could shoot straight down. But I am bearish on the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the Dow monthly. All right, we're in between this high, this low, which gives us a monthly equilibrium of 33,222. All right, let's take a look at the weekly. All right, last week closed below the previous week's low. All right, real simple, bearish. I have these draws on liquidity set here. All right, as well as these FEGs, depending upon how much volume we get pumped into the market. All right, we take a look at the daily. I would expect, for it to hit higher before going low, but algorithm could go ahead and take these out as well. But we do have this FVG as well as this implied FVG here, as well as this swing high. It could be a target. This FVG could be a target. This swing high. Um, I don't think it'll come all the way back up here, but it could. So I want to see it push up before it starts to push down. Okay. So that's the Dow. I am bearish. The Dow. All right. Overall, the weekly draw on liquidity is what I'm talking about here, guys. All right. The Russell 200, last but not least, bearish on this as well. Let's take a look at the monthly. We are in between this low and this high, which gives us a monthly equilibrium of, which one is that? I think that is the 1704. Yeah, 1704 and 90 cents. All right, so we are in discount. So I am expecting any of these draws on liquidity to be taken out before we head higher. All right, but I am bearish. Let's take a look at the weekly. Last week's candle took out the previous week's low, all right? So automatically I'm bearish, looking for those various draws on liquidity to be taken out. Let's take a look at the daily, see if we can find a reason for it to come up before pushing down. We have a FEG here, implied FEG. We have swing highs here as well. FEGs, here. All right. So looking for possibly this to pull up before pushing down as well. Okay. So guys, real simple, real quick. Those are my weekly biases: bullish the dollar, bearish NQ, bullish gold, bullish oil, bearish the S&P 500, bearish the Dow, bearish the Russell 200 as well. And again, these are based off of the contracts ending in December. Except for the dollar, that's not a future index, but the NQ, gold, oil, S&P 500, Dow, and Russell charts that I have are for the futures of those respective charts or instruments, so or indices. But anyway, so just real quick, guys, that is my draws on liquidity overall. That's what I'm looking for it to be taken out. So we will we'll see how price plays out. We'll see how the high impact news plays in that. Let's take a look at the high impact news for this week. All right. High impact news on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Be careful trading. Tuesday at 9:45, so just before my silver bullet window. So I want to make sure I'm careful. I got manipulated like crazy last week. I think it was the Fed speech at 12, and another one there was one at 10 a.m. There was one at 12. So that just kind of messed me up. Um, Wednesday should be good. So that at 4:35, Powell is speaking on Wednesday. So that clears both my silver bullet windows, the New York AM and New York PM. I should be clear to trade those. Uh, Thursday, red photo news at 8:30. So both of the silver bullet windows should be clear. Now Friday, I definitely want to make sure that I am not in the market, right, until after that 10 o'clock news hits. So I may or may not find a trade for the New York AM silver bullet window, but the PM should be fine for me to take a look at and trade. So, all right, guys, that is it for me. All right, hopefully this has been insightful. Comment below your thoughts as well as your analysis. And yeah, let's have a conversation about it. Let's try to make each other better traders, and let's get this money, y'all. So until next time, guys, as always, I hope that you guys stay well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.